I told him when I come back, we're going swimming. So, tell everybody thank you for them. Скажи, дякую.
Дякую.
Не, английский.
Thank you.
Thank you, thank you, что? Very much. Еще раз.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, guys. Future president of Ukraine right here. All right. Greetings, everyone, and welcome. It is 4:02 Eastern Standard Time, 11:02 in the evening in Israel. It is also 11:32, so Iran is only 30 minutes ahead of Israel. I'm going to drop over some live cams right now, and I want to update you for a little while, because there are some crazy things unfolding right now. Oh, that was a bug. Sorry. I've been watching this while I was getting ready. While I do that, welcome. Thank you for being here. Thanks to all the mods and all the folks that are jumping in. So I'm getting information, of course, if you do not know and you're new, it's straight from my friends there in Israel, IDF sources. And I'm also getting some information actually in from Ukraine that's connected so deeply with Israel. So a lot of good sources to give to you and stuff that's not hitting mainstream media or mainstream news. So I want to have you updated in that. We see it. Unless you've been under a rock, yes, Iran has struck Israel. And I don't want to give away the timeline of what's unfolding. I'll get to it, including some warnings from the IDF to the world, but we'll get to that in time. So the webcams we're looking at right now are upper left, southern Israel, the Gaza area. On the right tonight, I've got Tehran, Iran, 3, central Israel. Then I have southern Israel, another image on the right of Tehran. Everything on the right is Iran, except the Israel alert map, power plant, and also Qom. And then we have northern Israel, and I have southern Israel on the left. And I will tell you, I have another feed if things heat up we can get to. But thank you for being here. And as we get going, Douglas Hawley, thank you for becoming an engineer. Appreciate that deeply on the Hope Train. F. Oink, the Hungarian representative, is in the house, upgrading his membership to conductor. Thank you, Oink. Daddy Jim gifting 5 memberships. Dunk on you. Another great live ahead. Like and subscribe. Slava Ukrainian. Dunk on you. Also sending 20 memberships. I see Tito Valenzuela in here. Buenos dias. Buenos dias. Lots of you guys jumping in here now. So thank you. I want to get straight into what is unfolding. And I don't know how long the live stream will last, but I want you to be updated. Last night we were on for a few hours, and listen, if you're new here, thank you for hitting that subscribe button and the notification button, because if anything goes crazy, I'll try to go live immediately, watching it nonstop. But we're going to start with the update on what is unfolding in the last few minutes, and additionally what Israel is saying. And that would be IDF. So I can tell you, the first thing, well, in a minute I'll do it, but I had people asking me, not understanding. They were saying, Greg, how far is it from Tehran to Israel? I mean, we keep looking at the map, but we don't have relativity on that. And I'm going to switch back to another webcam right now. Let's go to this one. Haifa, And the reason I'm switching is because I just saw there may be some more missiles coming. So Haifa, Jerusalem, Bethlehem, West Bank, and Tel Aviv. So these are the 4 images you're looking at right there, live. And I'll pull that volume back a second. So folks were asking me, Greg, how far? Because when I look at the map, I don't realize, or I can't calculate it, and I don't know how far it is. So let's do, I do want to show you guys that before we get going. And I'm just going to do a Tehran to Israel. But if we measure distance, 984 miles, 1,500 kilometers. So 1,500 kilometers, 984 miles. And if you're here and you're such a, you're also a huge supporter of Ukraine, I can tell you right now, that is basically the exact width of the nation of Ukraine. So that's a really good reference point here, and for timing when these missiles start flying. So, yeah, it's crazy. 1,000 miles, 1,600 kilometers, roughly. So let's go back now to this, and I want to update you on the latest. So, 12:47 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So about 3 hours and 15 minutes ago, the IDF put out a warning that they were seeing evidence that sleeper groups were being alerted globally. Now, not putting that out there to be fear-mongering, just informative. We were really accurate last night on even who was being taken out when the IDF would say it, and then we'd go to the Iranian news and we would confirm it. But I can tell you, same sources giving messages right now for the entire world to be on alert, because the Iranian regime, which is separate from even, there are wonderful Iranian people. I have Iranian friends. I'm sure you do as well. But this Iranian regime, they are sponsors of terrorism around the world. It's just a fact. And IDF warning about 3 hours, 15 minutes ago to be alert. I can tell you also, before we get to the Israel stuff, Israel did attack the Isfahan nuclear facility. And that was 3 hours ago. I can tell you that tonight, different than last night, and I'll show you this. Tehran's air defense is actually working. It doesn't mean they're being successful, but that is Iranian air defense over Tehran. They were going after airplanes, actually, that were flying over Tehran. I can tell you that. Ali Khamenei has spoken. I'm going to give you his text in just a few minutes. He's the supreme leader. I can tell you also that in the last couple of hours, Israel has directly attacked Fordow, Isfahan, and Parchin. And these were double attacks with armor-piercing bombs trying to get deeper. That was within the last 3 hours. That is when the news broke that Iran had begun to strike at Israel. And at that point, Israel attacked Tehran again. At 1:30ish, so about 2.5 hours ago, Israel got the information that the Ayatollah Khamenei would be making a speech and expecting to declare full war on Israel. At that point, Israeli official declared if Iran strikes population centers in Israel, Israel's response will be one not seen in years. And we know that that has happened to this point. I'm just trying to catch you up. Supreme Leader Ayatollah Khamenei did speak. He said the Iranian armed forces will forcibly dismantle the evil Zionist regime. The Zionist regime will not escape this crime with impunity. The Iranian people can rest assured that we will not give up on the issue. At that point, right before Israel started receiving missiles from Iran, and there are wounded in Israel. I will get to that in just a moment. The IDF did warn Iran one more time that firing any missiles at Israel would lead to a destruction of the Iranian infrastructure and a destruction of the economy. At that point, Iran responded. NATO confirmed it, that there was a response imminent. At that point, President Macron of France made a statement 2.5 hours ago. Iran bears heavy responsibility for instability in the region. We cannot live in a world where Iran has nuclear weapons, but I am calling on all parties to show restraint. At that point, and this is where it begins to get interesting, and really where we want to begin to tie the story together as we go through it over the next hour or so, as we watch Russian President Vladimir Putin had a conversation. There was a phone call between Vladimir Putin and Benjamin Netanyahu, and Vladimir Putin has offered to personally mediate between Israel and Iran. I would remind you that it is Vladimir Putin who has an agreement that we talked about last night. There is a treaty and an agreement just ratified in Iran. Russia had already ratified it with a strategic partnership. That's what it's called. So the one who has a strategic partnership with Iran wants to come negotiate between Iran and Israel. I don't think that's going to work. As of 2.5 hours ago, Khamenei did not declare war on Israel in his speech, which IDF saying this may indicate that Iran will back down. That was a little bit earlier, but then we know that we struck. Macron then came out and stated France will not take part in Israel's attacks on Iran, but if Iran attacks Israel, France will help defend it. Okay, everybody, we need to really pay attention here. That was 2 hours and 10 minutes ago, to be more accurate. If France will not help Israel attack Iran, but if Iran attacks Israel, then France will help defend it. So remember that in your story. We're coming down to real time. And then when we do real-time assessment, we have all these little facts in the back of our head. F. Oink, thank you for gifting those 50 memberships. And F. Oink, our member for 5 months. A war by any name still feels like a war. European power in the house saying what typically you guys see tonight. I got the whole studio set up with the horsepower. I can put the comments up. European power there. Usually what Dr. Regan is saying, Viva la France. And I'll be honest with you, Viva la France. Thank you very much for making bold statements, because we've got enough wimpiness in the world. The strongest leader in the free world right now is President Volodymyr Zelensky, who is the bulldog. And that is why Ukraine is able to stand so strongly against that horrible Russian invasion. He's leading like Winston Churchill. I mean, like Patton, Eisenhower. The reality is, though, we need more strong leaders in the world. Now we're seeing events unfold over the last 24 hours that will require strong leadership to step up. And that's easy to analyze, easy to look at. There's nothing revelation, it's no revelation there. All right, but it is interesting. Macron did say that France will not take part in Israel's attack on Iran, but if Iran attacks Israel, France will help defend it. At that point, Israel attacked Revolutionary Guard sites back in Tehran. I can give you footage here. Let's do this. You are watching people on a hillside over top of Tehran, Iran, and that is the air defense going off. That's 2 hours ago. And they're just watching it like a fireworks show. If some of these videos get good, I'll bring the audio up as well, but I don't want it to be so. I'm trying to listen for the air alarms in the background on the other feed as well. One of the things you can notice there, guys, and I'm sure that most of us here have never been to Tehran, but it is a big city. It is very modern. But you can see a lot of air defense going up over Tehran. Let's keep going here. I'll go back here. Due to, it's funny to read this stuff sometimes, but due to the elimination of a majority of the senior leadership of the Iranian army, Major General Amir Hatami, he has now been appointed as the supreme commander of the Iranian army. Major General Hatami, this is what this guy looks like. Major General Hatami, that is now the supreme commander of the Iranian army. That's probably not a position I would want, to be quite honest with you. You know, as time came out over the last 24 hours, the attack that Israel performed on Iran had a portion of it, of course, through high technology and the use of drones, plus Mossad was on the ground. I was giving you that information last night. They were making sure the targets were on spot. They can put down, you know, the coordinates that need to be hit. But in addition to that, there were drones all throughout Iran that they had brought there that assisted in this attack. And I'm sure you have seen it. If not, I mean, I can pull it up, but some of these strikes that took out senior leadership of Iran literally went through a wall into their bedroom. This is how accurate. Now, I know, yes, we did have fallout. Yes, there were children killed in Tehran, and it's very unfortunate, and it's very sad. But with the amount of missiles that were fired, with the amount of drones that were rolling, with the amount of airplanes that Israel had in the air, it's an impressive strike, of course. Exactly 2 hours and 13 minutes ago is when Israel was struck. And I can give you footage now, okay? My buddy, whom I get stuff from, I'm going to show you the first video I'm getting out of Israel. Right here. You can see the incoming, and this is not Tehran. This is actually a few seconds here. These were incomings from Iran. Here we go. Let me go back.
Rishon LeZion West, Bat Yam, Jerusalem West, Abu Ghosh, Ariel.
Let's just watch this a second.
Bet Shemesh, Ma'ale.
This is Tel Aviv. Holy moly. If this is bothering you, I'm sorry if you have to hear, but this is real time right now. That's bad right there, guys. Tel Aviv, guys. It was just hitting the center. Very center of Tel Aviv. And this is coming in from DD Cyprus. So I want to give credit to DD Cyprus there with these webcams. Up on the upper right is the air alarm locations with the times. The bottom right is the little map where they'll show the strikes, the red alert areas. You can see that in the black and white. The bottom is Tel Aviv that was just struck.
Alarm. Kfar Nehar Hayarden. Givat Avni. Tiberias.
Tiberias now.
Kidmat Galil Industrial Zone. Mitzpeh,
And Galilee
Kfar
Industrial
Kfar
Zone.
Zeitim, Arbel. Or Yehuda. Yehud Monoson. Savion. Elad. Kiryat Ono. Givat Shmuel. Rosh Ha'ayin. Petach Tikva. Kfar Kasem. Hod HaSharon. Kfar Sava. Modi'in. Or Yehuda. Yehud Monoson. Savion. Nebi Samuel. Abu Ghosh. Bar Giora.
Razor's Edge has
Chazon,
become a member.
Beit Teman, Beitar Elite.
There it comes. Upper right, upper right, upper right.
Scottish Lass has become a member.
Bedouin diaspora.
You can see the air defense on the Iron Dome.
Abu Ghosh.
That's in Jerusalem in the Old City skyline. Here we have Tel Aviv. Really, they're doing a good job here. This is the moon over Tel Aviv. DD Cyprus, fantastic webcams there. All right, let me, I'm gonna pull that back. That's what's happening. Let's, I got an image in now, right here. You know, sometimes there's no words. I've been in Ukraine with being incoming like this, and all you can do is be silent. It's all right. We're back to settled, and I can tell you that 7 locations were struck. Tel Aviv taking the worst part of it. 5 different strikes, people injured in Israel. Iran has now named its operation, an hour and a half ago, severe punishment. Now 7 wounded, now 21 wounded in Israel. The count as of 1 hour and 30 minutes ago was 151 ballistic missiles have been launched at Israel. Iran, and I'm catching up fast now, Iran stating that they have just begun. They have dozens of targets, including military centers and air bases in Israel that will be attacked. Third barrage of missiles left at 2:56 p.m., an hour and 20-some minutes ago. I can show you some Upper Galilee here with the remnants of missile. Let's do this. This is Upper Galilee. And you say, well, that doesn't look too bad. And to be honest with you, I would agree with that. Or what could have been. Power still on. Looks like we have fall damage there. Maybe that's one IDF took out with the Iron Dome. Let's continue back here. We'll keep our eyes there. Okay, so hour and 20 minutes ago, the IDF stated that Iran will pay an unbearable price for firing on the center of Tel Aviv. That was it. That was the whole statement. Last night, this was what Tehran looked like. I'll go to this video clip for you now. This is what Tehran looked like. Remember last night we were looking at it. Now this is what Tel Aviv looks like. The amount of wounded, the wounded numbers will go up. The wounded numbers will go up. There's no question about that. And I'll get to the latest numbers in just a second. Okay, so 1 hour and 20 minutes ago on the dot, the defense minister of Israel, his last name is Katz. He stated that Iran has crossed the Israeli red line when it fired on the civilian population center in Israel. When you fired on Tel Aviv in the center, you crossed the line. We will continue to protect the citizens of Israel, ensure the Ayatollah regime pays a very heavy price for its criminal actions. So, we're just heading to war, guys. That's all. I mean, because, okay, Iran struck in Tehran. Now, granted, they were very pinpoint. They were very accurate. They were lethal, point-blank targets. And yes, there was collateral damage. Yes, children were killed. Now, Iran fires right into the center of Tel Aviv, and Israel, of course, their targets were, in my opinion, much more specific. But this, they're talking about just directly firing into the center because they do not have, as I understand it, from all of the background and understanding, the ability to be as accurate as Iran. I mean, as Israel. Israel had their guys on the ground. I can tell you 1 hour, 8 minutes ago, Israeli jets left. They're on the way to Iran. Then there were reports of an Israeli jet being shot down on news, mainstream media. That is fake. That is fake. 0 Israeli planes have been shot down. 1 hour ago, Donald Trump spoke with Benjamin Netanyahu. Okay. 53 minutes ago, Israel confirmed that they will begin attacking now state infrastructure, including economic infrastructure and energy infrastructure. The amount of injured as of 50 minutes ago, 21 in 9 different locations. Currently, 50 minutes ago, the United States is reporting that Russia and Oman are exerting maximum pressure on Iran to sign an agreement with the United States. That's 50 minutes ago. 45 minutes ago, the IAEA chairman, Rafael Grossi, is confirming that the upper portion of the Natanz nuclear facility was destroyed, but no damage to the underground enrichment facilities, only the outside. And that's what Israel was talking about. The Americans are not involved with the B-52s and the bunker buster bombs. We're going to have to attack it multiple times. And this is even what they're saying. Thank you. We will revisit that site and hit it again. We have 0 casualties among IDF soldiers at this point. 0. 100 approximate missiles from the Iranian regime. Benjamin Netanyahu spoke 40 minutes ago. He said the Iranian regime is in an unprecedented phase of weakness, and this is an opportunity for the people of Iran to stand up against that evil regime. Benjamin Netanyahu stated, "Our war is not against the Iranian people, but rather against a common enemy, the regime. Our goal is to eliminate the Iranian threat, and Iranian people must achieve their goal of freedom." Iran right now is in meetings determining whether they will close the Strait of Hormuz by Iran and close the strait by Yemen. That would disrupt the flow of world's energy. So let's look at that. Strait of Hormuz and the strait by Yemen. Let's do it. Strait of Hormuz. Yeah. So Iran threatening to close the Strait of Hormuz and the strait by Yemen. So we have two places that right now, this is what they're talking about. And you're seeing, actually, let me give you this feed real quick. You're seeing damage there in Tel Aviv, guys. All right, it came back. All right, I'll go back to this. So 40 minutes or so ago, Iran is meeting to see if that's terrible English, determining whether they want to facilitate a blockade on the Strait of Hormuz and the strait here between Yemen and Djibouti. This would completely block the energy flow of the world. Yeah, I know we have the Pacific and I know we have the Panama Canal, but you're talking about a very heavy shipping area over here with oil flowing like crazy through the Red Sea, in through the Suez Canal, out to the Mediterranean Sea. We also have, you name it, guys, Chinese products, Asia, it's all happening. Plus, you have a massive amount of oil that is shipped out of this pocket, Iran, Kuwait, and Saudi Arabia, through the Strait of Hormuz, out into the Arabian Sea, and onto the world. So this is what Iran is putting on the table. So this is the Strait of Hormuz, and this is the strait they're calling, it's the Gulf of Aden, but they're calling it the Strait of Yemen. All right. So this is what we're looking at right now on that. Let me get back to the next one. We'll go back to this. While I do that, let me say thank you for being in here. Kim Atkins, Greg, $10 super chat. I do believe Trump is doing exactly what he needs so we don't have nukes. Look how he did with Iran and Israel. He will not let Russia attack NATO countries. A poker face is being played with Russia. On that, Kim, time will tell. I hope. Time will tell. Yeah, time will tell. Paul Gudi-Deberitz, my brother there in Norway. Welcome to Engineer. The only difference between, and I'll just make this statement because I want to stay focused on this because we get into Russia and Ukraine, we can roll. There is a select group of individuals that Donald Trump appreciates, that he considers to be on an equal level with him. And I'm not trying to make a political statement here. It's just obvious observation. It's Vladimir Putin, it's Xi Jinping, and it's even Rocket Boy, but not so much Rocket Boy, but Vladimir Putin and Xi Jinping. So he looks at Putin and Xi as like a triumvirate of, this is the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost, Trump, Putin, and Xi. And that trifecta there, has the domination in the world. That's a lot of the view there. So when you look at like the Ayatollah Khomeini and Iran, and even Benjamin Netanyahu there in Israel, he doesn't look at them at the same level. Although, of course, we're seeing the unbelievable power that Israel can demonstrate. We're seeing what's appearing to be some weakness from Iran. Of course, they were neutered last night, but we'll see what unfolds from that. But he is, I just think he looks at those different, but we'll see. Time will tell. And we try to cover it fair and straight and right down the middle with the best truth we can find. Papa Dutch, $2. Hello, I'm here, catching up too. Welcome, legend. F-Oink, Hungarian, my Hungarian 2K. Important background, Iran was 2 weeks from weapon-grade uranium, testing implosion detonators, testing 2,000-kilogram payload missiles. Yeah, after the stream last night, I actually couldn't go to bed. I mean, I could, but then more stuff started coming out, and I put a video out to update. There was one statement from Netanyahu that they were able to produce 15 missiles, and then there was the IDF spokesman that they could produce 9, and then I heard 9 again, and then I heard directly from Israel, well, they're so close, it could be tomorrow or it could be within 2 weeks, and I think the proof is in the pudding. They're very, very, very close. Georgie 11111. Why don't the Iranians shut down the Israeli energy system? The war would be at least interrupted for days. I don't think they can do it, Georgie. I think they're going to try to do anything to destabilize Israel, but I'm not sure they can do it. And this takes us back to the statement that Macron made. So if you're just catching into the stream now, Macron earlier stated, if Iran attacks Israel, France will help defend. Now, we will not attack Iran, but we will help defend. And it's really interesting. Israel's doing all the offense, but I'm telling you, you know it as well as I know it. They're getting intelligence from the United States, no question. Now we hear Macron saying, you attack Israel, France is coming. So it's not going to be easy at all for Iran, especially being neutered. It's not going to be easy at all for them to accomplish this. I'm not saying it's not going to happen. I'm not going to say it's something could happen in the next 5 minutes, but it's going to be very, very difficult for Iran to be able to do that. Let's go. Hezbollah and they're hurt in Beirut, but they are calling themselves to activation. So we'll see what happens from that. That's 45 minutes ago. Israeli cabinet meeting 40 minutes ago to discuss which response they want to give to the Iranian missile attack on urban centers in Israel, and specifically Tel Aviv. I can tell you right now, we now have an update from 38 minutes ago. 40 injured, 2 in critical condition and 4 in moderate condition. So we were looking at that video a second ago, and I said, that injury number is going to go up. Let me get this. I've got, let's do this. I'm going to give you a clip here of Benjamin Netanyahu. As soon as I get that down. And I think earlier, on my earlier video today, I was sharing, there were some shaheeds shot at Israel, but that was early, just like 100. There was coming, there's 200 shaheeds, there's 500 shaheeds. No, it was this. Let's see here. No, this is my other. Hold it. No. Well, you can watch this too. That is not a shaheed. I hit the wrong button. But I'll let you enjoy that video as well. That's actually a Russian Su-25 shooting down another Russian Su-25 today. That was good news inside Ukraine. I thought I had that Shaheed video. But there were Shaheeds fired at Israel. And let's do this. I think he's in English here. Sure. Here we go. Let's listen to Bibi on this a second.
Tonight I wish to speak to you, the proud people of Iran.
This is about 30 minutes ago.
Of, one of the greatest military operations in history, Operation Rising Lion. The Islamic regime, which has oppressed you for nearly 50 years, threatens to destroy my country, the State of Israel. The objective of Israel's military operation is to remove this threat, both the nuclear threat and the ballistic missile threat to Israel. And as we achieve our objectives, we're also clearing the path for you to achieve your objective, which is freedom. In the past 24 hours, we've taken out top military commanders, senior nuclear scientists, the Islamic regime's most significant enrichment facility, and a large portion of its ballistic missile arsenal. More is on the way. The regime doesn't know what hit them. They don't know what will hit them. The nation of Iran and the nation of Israel have been true friends since the days of Cyrus the Great. And the time has come for you to unite around your flag and your historic legacy by standing up for your freedom from an evil and oppressive regime. It has never been weaker. This is your opportunity to stand up and let your voices be heard. Woman, life, freedom. Zan, Zandegi, Azadi. As I said yesterday and many times before, Israel's fight is not with you. It's not with you, the brave people of Iran, whom we respect and admire. Our fight is with our common enemy, a murderous regime that both oppresses you and impoverishes you. Brave people of Iran, your light will defeat the darkness. I'm with you. The people of Israel are with you.
That is Benjamin Netanyahu speaking a little while ago. You know, I know. Listen, we just hunt for truth in here. Okay, strikes happening somewhere. You can have your everybody's entitled to their opinions and their thoughts. Well, I don't like Netanyahu. I don't like that, or I like this. I like that. Regardless, the statement he was making was good. We're not here to destroy the Iranian people. We respect the Iranian people, but you were taken over by an evil regime. Guys, look at some history. I'll just encourage you to do that. Tehran, Iran, even though, I mean, it looks pretty today, go back and research it in the 50s and the 60s and the 70s before it transitioned in 79 and 80 and then on forward to today. It was like one of the greatest destinations on the planet. Unbelievable place. I've watched old YouTube videos about Tehran, Iran. And I said, holy moly, it's not even, it's unbelievable place. And I have a lot of Iranian friends that are wonderful people. And so I respect what Netanyahu just said there. Our fight's not with you. Our fight is with that horrible regime there. Now, I can give you this 30 minutes ago. 30 minutes ago, the United States confirmed that they assisted in intercepting missiles from Iran with ground-based air defense, but we have not used fighter jets or warships. 30 minutes ago. So now, of course, we knew intelligence was happening already, of course. But now we even have a confirmation that the United States is assisting in taking out incoming missiles from ground-based units, not using airplanes or ships that would be in the Mediterranean. Israel right now It's been going on the last 20 minutes. The airplanes we talked about that they had launched about a half hour ago or whatever it was, they are now attacking in Tehran and Avaz. Iran just confirmed that the Fordow nuclear facility was attacked. Papa Dutch here, the super chat, $5. Some of the most ancient archaeological sites are in Iran and Iraq. That is a fact, my friend.
Tonight I wish to speak
Wrong
to you.
video. That's a fact. Wrong button. That's the right button. From the first wave of missile attacks from, talk about the Iron Dome, and I know now we know that the United States was helping. Maybe France, who knows? I mean, from what Macron said, 97% success rate in intercepting Iranian ballistic missiles and drones. 97%. So if they sent 100, which they must have sent more because there were more strikes than 100, but 97% success rate. I'm sure some of the damage that hit in Israel as well was collateral damage. F-Oink about the pizza index that the U.S. was involved. Okay, so I just learned about that. Professor Gertis actually educated me on that, about the pizza index. So you are spot on there, Oink. Southeast Tehran experiencing explosions right now, 20 minutes ago. Damage to the Natanz nuclear facility has now reached a deeper level than just the external ground and external buildings. That's 18 minutes ago. That's the Natanz nuclear facility, and that's the one we looked at last night. Let me go back over there and we'll do it again. We'll go here and we'll take that off. And Natanz, I think I remember where it's at, but let's see here. Let's do this. I need to know where you're at. Thank you. Here. Remember this little narrow strip town we looked at last night? And then we could see it up on the hill burning. So I'll go to this layer now. Yes. We were looking on the video from this direction through the town of Natanz, which is this little strip of town here. And we saw the fires burning on this ridge. So this is where the nuclear facility is, and now Israel's saying that they have done more damage to the Natanz nuclear site. So this is one of the underground sites. It has gone beyond the exterior and the facade and the building. So they have struck deep into Natanz again. And if you're wondering, once again, it's due south of Tehran. Tehran right there. Right there. That's what we're looking at. Let's go back to this and I'll get us up. Unbelievable. So this is an F-4 fighter jet. And I'm not an Air Force specialist, but it's an F-4. This is Iranian. You can see the flag on the tail here. You can see IRIAF, Iranian Air Force. This is F-4. IDF reporting that they have eliminated all of the F-4 stockpile of jets that Iran had. They had them openly parked and they destroyed them all. That's unbelievable. I mean, it's not unbelievable. It's not unbelievable. But it's, I've been helping, working, fighting, front lines in Ukraine since the war began, and we do it every day. So I know what's possible, but when you see it, this is actually the air base here. I can give you this. Unbelievable. All right, guys, here it is. Give you stuff you're not going to see on the other media. This is where the F-4s were. This is the military base of the Iranian Air Force, Hamadan. You look at the map down there, it's just between the border of Syria and Tehran, so out there in the middle of the desert. Israel has destroyed the pilot standby structure, the surface-to-air missile storage facilities, aircraft flight control radar, surface-to-air missile launcher, the flight route, which means the runways, the control tower, and the underground aircraft hangars. This is where the F-4s were. So they have completely dismantled this entire airbase. It's mind-boggling. For me, it's mind-boggling. Maybe not for you. I'm sure there's a lot of veterans in here in the chat. Not mind-boggling for you, but for me, it's mind-boggling. The power. Yeah, Bombi 1138. I don't know countries were still flying that plane. Yeah, that's... Yeah, holy smack, Papa Dutch, a Phantom 2. Exactly. It's no more. I can tell you. It's no more. That entire air base is gone. Let me say this right now. Thank you guys for being in here. 2,300 folks watching right now. Appreciate you. I'm just trying to catch us up. And then, if you're new, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn the notification on, because I went live and I just sent my mods. I said, I'm going live in 15 minutes. And, I never expect them to drop what they're doing and jump in, but they're so kind, have such wonderful moderators. So thank you to you guys. But when something changes like this, I don't want to just put a video up. I want to go live. Let's talk about it. Let's figure it out. Let's see what's going on. Let's analyze it, because it's happening right now. So this is what we're looking at. Now, I want to continue, but thank you guys. Thank you so much. For me personally, this is the most important things in the world happening right now. Russia and the war and the invasion, the horrible genocide happening in Ukraine. In fact, we need one of these right now.
Welcome to Ukraine.
Yeah, we'll have to get you guys on the live streams of the Ukraine live streams, and then we really roll. Okay, 4:39, and I'm going off East Coast time. We are approaching midnight in Israel. It's 23:55, 11:55 p.m., 4:55 here. I told you earlier it was Netanyahu, and you saw the statement he made, and I also shared with you Katz, the defense minister. And in case you're wondering, this is what Katz looks like. Of course, Netanyahu on the right, Katz is on the left. This is a current picture within the last 15 minutes. They are in the bunker, and they are conducting operations, is what they're saying. Conducting operations. Doing a good job is what they're doing. They took out a stinking entire air base. Holy moly. Let's see if I can get this one down here. 2889. Let's do this. Change. So 10 minutes ago, got this in just now. Tehran. Let's see what we get here. Here's Tehran about 10 minutes ago.
از این تیرای چیز هم هست قرمزه چیزه.
That's it. There was some air defense going up. Probably hard for you to see, especially if you're watching on a mobile iPad or phone there, but it was air defense going up in Tehran, and that was happening now. Now, I want to go to the next thing that we like to look at, and we're learning all of this. Let me refresh this, and I'm going to take you guys to this now. Yeah, I can't read that either, I promise you, but my buddy Google can. Let's do this. The Truthful Promise. This is Iranian news right now, and it tells us when it comes. So the Truthful Promise, Iranian missiles hit Tel Aviv and Haifa. Revolutionary leaders, armed forces will impoverish the scoundrel Zionist regime. All of occupied Palestine is on red alert. Haifa's turn. Iran launches massive rockets at Tel Aviv. We know that's true. And then we have nuclear facilities have not suffered serious damage. Of course, that's what we're going to say. That's what they're going to say, but we're knowing differently on that. I do want to see though, like, what are they writing? So, they're doing the same. This is images from Tel Aviv there. According to the international group Tasnim, Operation True Promise, which is what Iran is calling it, carried out by firing hundreds of missiles towards the occupied territories. Then that makes more sense to me than just 100 missiles, because Israel had said we took out 97%, but we saw all the missiles coming down into Tel Aviv. So I think that's accurate. There was probably hundreds of missiles, and we know the United States helped defend against it. We know Israel with their Iron Dome, and we have the potential that France is doing things because Macron says if you attack Israel, we will help defend Israel. Have no confirmation that France has done anything other than the statement of the president. But that makes sense. Hundreds of missiles going against Israel. Simultaneously, Iranian missiles hit downtown Tel Aviv. And contrary to the regime's claims about multi-layered air defense of the regime and NATO that served them, they landed successfully. In addition to Tel Aviv, the port city of Haifa was also successfully targeted, and Hebrew sources reported that at least 5 points in the capital were targeted by Iranian missiles in the second wave. Okay, guys, this is what I'm going to tell you right here. And very interesting, Brian Griffiths, great comment. Just a coincidence that October 7th is Putin's birthday. All right, let's leave that right there. But I want to share something with you guys, because when I read this, I'm looking at it from a perspective of not just Iran and Israel, but I'm looking at it from a perspective of the Kremlin and Vladimir Putin, and not only the war against Ukraine, but let's be quite honest. Vladimir Putin and Xi Jinping and Kim Jong-un and Iran and other supporting players are waging war against the West. It's coming through economics. It's coming militarily. Now we, of course, the war, Russia, and the horrible invasion of Ukraine. But in addition to that, now we're seeing the war escalate between Iran and Israel. And I read something very interesting in this article. Very interesting. And you know what, you guys put in the chat what you think, but I'm going to tell you what I think. And I could be dead wrong, but somebody, Brian, I think it was Brian, I put it up there on October 7th. Yeah, Brian Griffiths. This part right here. Right here. And specifically this paragraph. Simultaneously, with the supreme leader's message, Iranian missiles hit downtown Tel Aviv, and contrary to the regime's claims about the multi-layered air defense systems of the regime and NATO that served them, they landed successfully. And NATO. And NATO. And NATO. Ladies and gentlemen, what is the argument you always hear coming out of the Kremlin? We are battling NATO. Now we have press release from Iran talking about their attacks where they are taking out NATO defenses in Israel. The NATO systems that serve the regime of Israel. Okay, this is interesting. And Nick, thank you, brother. Nice catch. Yeah, it helps when you are reading the news from Persia. But my goodness, guys, and nice to see you here, my friend. I'm kind of blown away with that, to be honest, because I'm gonna put it back up there for you guys to see. That's the press release. Contrary to the regime's claims about their multi-layered air defense systems of the regime and NATO that served them, our strikes landed successfully. Okay, you have Vladimir Putin, Sergei Lavrov, Dmitry Peskov, and the list goes on. NATO is the enemy. NATO is fighting a proxy war. NATO is fighting us through Ukraine. And my goodness, we see historically over the last few months the signed strategic partnership. That's what it's called, strategic partnership between Iran and Russia. We also know that there is a partnership signed between Russia and China. The strongest partnership is signed between Russia and North Korea because that's a military alliance where each responds, and we already see North Korea fighting with Russia and supplying heavy weapons. We actually have seen Iran supplying military weapons, drones, and technology since the beginning of the war, basically in Ukraine, even before there was this signed agreement between Iran and Russia. So we have all these agreements going on, and now we see coming out in this article right here, Iran's going to start talking about NATO. Okay, that's one you just need to put in your memory banks. That's all I'm going to say. Put that one in your memory banks because there will be more to come of that. Let me go back and see if anything is updated here. We've been going for an hour now. I'm just checking the chat, guys. Thank you guys for all that you do. Bartek Gornyak. I think that's very good observation, sir. China can do nothing more than attack on Taiwan. It's coming. It's coming. I don't want to be a prognosticator or a prophet. We always only want to deal with facts, but it's coming. It's absolutely coming. Let me get caught up here. Papa Dutch, $5 super chat. I wonder when they will begin flying box kites, man. I'm telling you. Papa Dutch, I can get a better drone from a Shaheed than Tower Hobbies. And for all of you new folks in here, Papa Dutch is the unique, eloquent he waxes eloquent. Gucci the Pig, $10. Do you think Wagner instructors helped the attack on Israel October 7th? Russia always knows how to distract and work with bad actors. So Gucci the Pug, thank you for that super chat. And I can answer that with absolute confirmation. Not that it was specifically Wagner, however you want to pronounce it, but there is no doubt and no question that Russians were involved in the October 7th attack. When that happened, I actually was playing video, getting video in of the Russians assisting with directing those attacks, and they were speaking in Russian, and we were translating it. That goes back now, a couple of years, but for sure Russians were involved. Whether or not it was Wagner or whether it was not some other PMC, which is another private military group out of Russia, or it was Russian soldiers itself, I do not know, but for sure the Russian language was flowing freely on October 7th. That's a fact. Papa Dutch 5, if first you don't succeed, we will repeat ourselves. Official doctrine of pathetic nations. Papa Dutch is going to be the Greg Terry Experience representative, permanent representative to the United Nations. Ladies, I've just put him as the UN ambassador from our YouTube community. In Time Independent News, crew member, thank you, brother, for 7 months being a member. Wasn't going to stop by, but then I did a 360. That's exactly right, brother. It's not a 180 or you wouldn't be here. And big shout out for Nick at End Time Independent News. He also does an amazing job covering breaking news. We don't always see everything the same way, but we sure do agree on a lot. So make sure you check by his channel there at End Time Independent News and drop him a sub. He does a good job. All right, let me get back to the last few things here and see if we have any final updates I want to give you. And then I'm probably going to sign off because I think from what I am seeing, there's going to be another wave from Iran. And if it is, we will come back live again. Israel is now targeting the coastal areas of Iran. 11 minutes ago, this wave of attacks is going after the oil industry and the port system. So that's going to be what we're talking about when we go back and we're looking at that Strait of, let me get the map up here. Right here. Strait of Hormuz. So I can tell you right now, we'll go here. Israel is attacking. So the border of Iran is there and there. So somewhere here, I don't know where. We could zoom in and look for the port cities or the shipping docks, and we could find it. But I'm sure we'll get the exact place in a little while. But right now, Israel flying sorties, and they are heading this direction, and they are going to be attacking the port infrastructure, storage facilities for energy, oil, gas, whatever that may be, and probably attacking ports. This right here, I'll put a big X. That's the Strait of Hormuz, where Iran is talking about putting a blockade and stopping flow of traffic. So now we can see how earlier, I'll break that early. We started last night in Tehran. We started across this nuclear sector here. We were hitting the air bases up in the northwest. There were some strikes down in the southeast, but now Israel is coming after the coastal region. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, my friends here, they are completely neutering Iran right now. And what we're seeing is they're doing what they said they would do. And that's typically what Israel does. They said, if you hit our population centers, we're going to take out your economic infrastructure. We know we have 41 wounded now. Tel Aviv, Haifa, 9 different locations people are wounded. 4 severely, 2 moderately. And Israel is now responding, and they are doing what they said they're going to do. They're hitting energy infrastructure along this coastal region somewhere, and we'll see if we find out more. And that's a big deal. Now, that takes me back to another topic, and I would ask you guys a question, because everything, in my opinion, is 100% connected. When this happens, and I wonder what, let me see here. Price of oil. Let's do this. Price of oil. Crude oil futures now up 7% today. $4 to 71.51. That benefits somebody. When oil goes up, Putin smiles. When oil goes down, Putin frowns. You think he's liking this attacks happening? And these attacks are happening just now. So I expect that number to go up, because we're talking about significant amounts of energy there. But we'll see. This is all just happening right now. I'm trying to update you. Israel is just starting again. They've just struck Kermanshah again. Kermanshah is another nuclear facility. They have hit that again. Israel has attacked the Mehrabad airport in Tehran. Israel has attacked an airport in Elam. And Iran just reported 5 minutes ago that this wave of strikes against them is the strongest yet. And we see what Israel did last night. This is the strongest yet. I want to check a couple more things here. Okay. 2 minutes ago, Israel's UN envoy says Israel, that is, acted properly to prevent its destruction due to the Iranian development of nuclear weapons. It was extremely close to being weaponized. That is the UN rep. His name is Danny Dannon, speaking to the UN. Confirmation 41 wounded, and we're caught up. 12 minutes ago, pro-Iran militias in Iraq demanding U.S. troops leave Iraq. And I can tell you that Amir Saeed Iravani, he is the UN ambassador of Iran to the United Nations. He just gave the numbers 13 minutes ago that 78 Iranians have been killed and 320 have been wounded. 25 minutes ago, the United States has put an official warning to Iran that if American troops are targeted in any region, the consequences will be dire. United Kingdom 28 minutes ago urging de-escalation. And that was at the United Nations Security Council. I can tell you that Vladimir Putin, when he called Iran's president Masoud Pezeshkian told Putin that Iran had no desires to create nuclear weapons. It was never part of the plan. In fact, I can quote it this is the quote from the president of Iran in his talk with Putin just an hour ago. The Islamic Republic of Iran has always maintained that we do not seek to acquire nuclear arms, and we are ready to provide guarantees on this issue to the competent international authorities. That's a direct quote from Pezeshkian to Vladimir Putin. The last thing I'll give you here, 35 seconds ago, Israel received a warning from Iran. Here we go.
Eilat, Shekharat Industrial Zone.
All right, that's a red alert. That just came through as I was actually trying to wind it down here, but we'll hang there a second. Just listening for a second. (12:17 a.m.) Bottom right, we're looking at Tel Aviv. Bottom left, we're looking at Bethlehem. Top left, Haifa. Top right, Jerusalem. All four of these cams are confirmed live. That's what the red indicator is on the bottom right, the signal strength of the live feed. And big thank you to Dee Dee Cypress for doing these webcams. All right, I'll pull the volume back up if it goes again. Iran warning. Now it's 2 minutes ago. It was 35 seconds ago, but 2 minutes ago, Iran warning. Let's do this. I'm gonna add that to the queue. John, I'm gonna get your comment in just a second. Reb Tyree, thank you for the update. Greg, you're welcome. God bless us all. Thank you, Reb, my friend. Iran has warned Israel that they have not yet seen the firm response. And they warned Israel through the United Nations. So the UN ambassador just moments ago has warned that the Iranians' response has not happened yet. And it will be firm, it will be lawful, and it is essential now to restore the deterrence from being struck. That's interesting because right now Israel is striking the ports. There was a comment here. I think I got it. John Hoover. This is good. Greg, keeping the Strait of Hormuz open is very important to the price of oil. I tell you what, guys. Yes, thank you, John. But I'll tell you, there's a game afoot here, and we just need to keep our eyes open. Keep your eyes on it, because we've already talked about the axis of evil multiple times, and I don't want to keep repeating it, but you've got Putin, you've got Xi Jinping, Kim Jong-un, Rocket Boy. And listen, I know everybody goes, well, that dude's crazy. He just shoots rockets out into the Sea of Japan. Yeah, that's the problem. He's crazy. He's a lunatic. And he has a war machine. And he has the largest standing army. And he is learning every day how to make it better through Russia. He is now in agreement to produce Shaheeds. They're building a Shaheed factory to produce the Russian technology of Shaheeds, second and third generations. We cannot ignore that lunatic over there. And they are loaded with Soviet supply. And I know you go, well, that's junk. It doesn't matter. It still blows up. And it's dangerous and it's bad. So we got a very evil axis here. And then seeing tonight what I showed you guys out of that news from Persia. Let me translate that again, where they are now calling out NATO right here. That's like crazy. Your NATO partners can't even stop us. So we're going to see that rhetoric and those words continue, but we're seeing the further separation. But if we go to that Strait of Hormuz, it's on that tab. Just once again here, very key, John sending out the message, very key to the price of oil. Keep the Strait of Hormuz open. So that is maybe a card Iran is going to try to play. They've already talked about closing the straits of Hormuz, and also down here at Yemen. Should be this strait and this strait. And even others are saying it would cripple global economics. So we'll see. I'm not an economist. Let me give you the last couple of things here. Okay. Did you guys hear about 10 minutes ago? Okay, so there was no webcam there. That was just the air alarm, and it was Elam. or Elot or somewhere that the automated air alarm came on, and it said in the industrial zone, and it was the air alarm. Well, I can tell you that is actually hit, but it wasn't on the webcam. Right now, it's 5:21 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 12:21 there in Israel. It wasn't on the webcam, but it did hit. And right now, and that was about 10 minutes ago, they're bringing in the counts already. 63 injured in that strike from that alarm about 10 minutes ago. So now that number is going to go up from the 41 to 63, 104. The other thing is, coming in, big night ahead, will Iran strike a neighboring country? And that is coming in from IDF, directly from the same exact source I've told you guys for the last 2 nights. So I trust this, so we need to keep our eyes open on that. But I think that's where we can do it and take a break. And I'll say thank you guys so much. I want to get a little rested, gather some more information, and please make sure you have your notification bells on. GM, is there a good relationship between Iran and China? Yes, absolutely. China backs Iran, guys. All right. In fact, let me go back here. That was GM. Yes, there is a good relationship between China and Iran, and this presents a huge problem for Xi Jinping. In fact, okay, you guys got me thinking. I had some notes up here. Okay, let me give you this, guy. Stay here with me for a minute, because that was a great question. And let me answer that, and then we'll take a break. Papa Dutch, $5. Russia has destabilization tactics in button-down mode. We are seeing is the activation of them. 100%. This is global destabilization, and it's the perfect play of what Russia is doing. All right, so let me go back now, and I want to just share something with you guys. So there was a question about China. So I was going to put this out in a video, but I wanted to make sure I had my focus on Ukraine as well today, but all these stories are connected. So my earlier video today is on Ukraine, and I was going to come with another video, but I decided to go live instead. Chinese Foreign Ministry spokesperson, his name is Lin Jian. All right, Lin Jian has stated that China is highly concerned about Israel's attacks on Iran and deeply worried about the potentially serious consequences of these actions. China firmly opposes any violation of Iranian sovereignty, security, and territorial integrity, and opposes actions that escalate tensions or expand the conflict. There's your answer about China. This is the gentleman here making that statement. He is Ministry of Foreign Affairs spokesperson. This statement was made hours ago today. So that's your answer on that. They're in direct opposition of that and anybody who helps them. And I can tell you that Russia did make its official response. I was going to put that in a video, but we went live instead. Russian, and guys, if you want entertainment before we sign off, listen to the official statement from Russia. Russia strongly condemns Israel's use of force against Iran, calling it a blatant violation of the UN Charter. So I just want you to know, I strongly condemn Russia's use of force against Ukraine, and I call it a blatant violation of the UN Charter. Moscow maintains there is no military solution to the situation surrounding Iran's nuclear program. Unprovoked strikes on a sovereign nation, its citizens, civilian cities, and nuclear infrastructure are deemed unacceptable. So I would say, Russia, to you, unprovoked strikes on a sovereign nation, Ukraine, its citizens, civilian cities, and nuclear infrastructure, which they don't have any, are deemed unacceptable. Israel has deliberately, this is Russia speaking, chosen escalation, raising tensions and risking a broader regional conflict. I would say Russia has deliberately chosen escalation, raising tensions and risking a broader global conflict. The attack has undermined and set back international efforts aimed at resolving the Iranian nuclear issue diplomatically. I would say that every time Russia attacks Ukraine, it undermines and sets back international and Ukrainian efforts to resolve the war issues. I'm not going to say nuclear, it's not nuclear, diplomatically. Full responsibility for the consequence of this provocation rests with Israel's leadership. I would say full responsibility for the consequences of Russia invading Ukraine rests completely on Vladimir Putin's shoulders.
Be'er Ora,
Here we go.
Eliphaz and Timna mines, Samar, Yotvata, Shacharut, Grofit, Keturah, Lotan, Neve Harif, Neot Smadar, Yahel, Kushi Rimon, Paran, Tsukim, Sofar,
so you see
Sapir,
on the
En Yahav,
bottom
Chatzeva,
right,
En Chatzeva,
that's where
Idan,
all the air alarms
Ir
are going
Ovot,
off now.
Neot Hakikar, En Tamar,
Not a
Yotvata,
webcam
Wild
everywhere
Zone,
there. We just have
Arendelle
webcams on the
Farm,
4 major
El
cities
Amrani,
here, but
El Mesak,
Shittim,
he's calling the names of the towns. Aircraft intrusion, hostile aircraft intrusion. You're looking at Tel Aviv up top, Jerusalem bottom left, Bethlehem, now Tel Aviv bottom, the Haifa top left, Jerusalem top right, Bethlehem bottom left, Tel Aviv bottom right. Ooh, oh, I hear it. Man, it sounded to me like a shaheed. I heard, there's no way a shaheed got anywhere. Maybe that was a motorcycle going by or something. All right, let me finish here with this ridiculous statement from Russia. Russia expects the West to reflect on the outcome of its anti-Iran campaign, including pressure on the IAEA, International Atomic Energy Agency. International Atomic Energy Agency staff and Iranian civilians were also endangered by Israeli strikes. And I would say every day, Ukrainian power plant staff, nuclear power plant staff, and Ukrainian civilians are endangered by Russian strikes every day. Moscow expects the IAEA Director General to deliver a balanced and objective assessment of the situation in the region. That means Moscow expects, that's a truck, expects IAEA to say what Putin wants them to say. Russia calls on both Israel and Iran to exercise restraint to prevent further escalation and avoid a slide into full-scale war. So that's where we're at right now. Let me go back one last time. Yeah, so instantly, so you could see bottom right there, and what I can show you, what I get on my feed is this. That's the air alarms right now. So they're all along that line on the border of Israel and Jordan. Right there. And that's exactly what you're seeing on the bottom right image, all down toward the Dead Sea. If you see Arabish at the top, oh, I need to go back to this image for you. Arabish at the top right, down toward the Red Sea. So this is what we're looking at there, guys. All right, so the last message I got from there, it looks like it could potentially be a big night that's coming directly out. It is 63 have been wounded in the last strike. And big night ahead was the last one. Will a strike occur in a neighboring nation? Really strange message there, but we'll see. So make sure you have your notification bell on. And I just want to say thank you to everybody for being here. F-Oink coming in. Yeah. 80% plus uranium, not for energy. I think I got that one right here. 80+% uranium, not for energy. IAEA has no authority on that. That's actually true as well. That's actually true as well. But this is what we're facing. So I think we're there. I'm going to check it one last time, and I'm going to say thank you and get some rest wherever you're at in this world, or get about your day. Keep your eyes on your notifications, and we will be back if and when necessary. And it could be in an hour from now, or it could be tomorrow. I don't know, but I got good rest late last night into this morning, and ready to roll. We'll keep our eyes on everything that is happening. Cruise missiles are inbound on that air alarm right now, coming into southern Israel. So we'll see. Thank you, guys. Appreciate all of you. Thanks to all the mods. Thanks for you guys that gifted memberships, that made super chats, and help us do what we do to get this message out. Thank you for your care, not only about this situation, Iran and Israel, which are definitely connected directly to Russia, Ukraine, China, United States, NATO, Europe. It's all connected. I think the biggest clue we had in the connection was the statement from President Macron out of France. We won't attack you, Iran, but if you attack Israel, we will defend them. I didn't expect to hear that, to be honest with you. And then, there you go. Missile launches detected. I'll stay here for a second. I already had told you that.
Daniel Petrovsky has become a member.
So I had it about 3 minutes before Cyprus here had the alert go. So cruise missiles are on the way. I'll wait for one more message here. But what I was saying while doing that is just thank you, everybody. And we're focused on giving you truth. All of our hard work in Ukraine will continue every day. And planning next month, I'll be in Ukraine. We'll be broadcasting from there and getting to that front line, helping the guys. It just feels wrong to be waiting, although in Ukraine, that's what you do. Air alarm goes off, you hunker down and you wait. I want to check one last thing for you guys. Okay. The Emir of Qatar, called Donald Trump, asking him to de-escalate the region. That's a few minutes ago. That's the first thing we've heard coming out of Qatar or Qatar. I'd like to get confirmation those missiles taken out, but I feel confident they will be. Great comment there, Jason. We never forget Ukraine, as far as I'm concerned, or the most important context going on. Agreed. Thank you, Jason. Agree 100%. I can just, if you guys, a lot of you in here, on your names I recognize, and then there's so many new people that I don't recognize. So thank you to both groups of folks. But I'll tell you, we've been saying this for 3 years, or longer. It's all connected. And we're going to see more of that connection unfold in the next few days. Okay, I'm going to leave it there. I'm going to believe that the Iron Dome has done its job down there towards the Dead Sea, because that's where the missiles. All right, guys, thank you so much. Make sure you have notification bell on. Go get you a snack, dinner, breakfast, lunch, take a nap, whatever you're doing. Spend time with the family. We'll be updating you. There is a possibility. I know Gertis had called me earlier. He says, man, maybe we go live tonight and do some more updates on that. I'd love to do a joint with you. So that may happen later this evening or tomorrow. But I will tell you, if things go sideways, I'm going live immediately again. So make sure your notification bell is on. Once again, thank you to everybody that's here. Appreciate all that you do. You guys be blessed, and we'll be back at you as soon as we need to be. Be blessed.
Слава Україні!